So I guess the first symptom I think that's been affecting my life the last couple of years has been just chronic headaches, basically, just around, especially like my temples and up through the top of my head and down the back towards my neck, has just been kind of ongoing pain. So basically I just have constant headaches. So every morning I wake up with a headache, and then I have the headache all day. It makes it difficult to concentrate on anything that I'm doing. It makes it difficult to do just anything that I do, whether it's running, climbing, hanging out with friends, anything like that. Level of symptom, I guess, on a scale from 1 to 10, I would say usually it's between a 3 and a 4, and then some days it gets worse. I would say probably it gets up to 5 or a 6 pretty frequently, just a couple times a week maybe, where it just gets especially bad if I'm especially stressed, if I'm not sleeping well, if I'm spending a lot of time talking. It will be worse the next day usually, in that 5 or 6 range. I've taken just like over-the-counter pain relief, like hot packs on my head, to try and just kind of alleviate the symptoms there. And obviously those have limited effectiveness and aren't really a long-term solution because I can't keep taking ibuprofen forever. But yeah, so that's basically what I've done for it. The second symptom, I'd say that kind of affects my life is tinnitus, or like ringing in my ears. And this one I think I've been living with for the past 6 months at least. And my ears are just ringing all the time at a low level. And it makes it, again, difficult to concentrate, difficult to pay attention to things, because there's always just that kind of background noise. And then as well, it will sometimes get worse if I like move my head or like I swallow. It'll kind of, the pitch will change, it will go up in frequency, it'll get louder for a moment, just kind of as I'm going about doing anything and everything. And that is obviously very annoying. Yeah, so on the 0 to 10 scale, I would say it is probably, again, like a 3 range just all the time. And sometimes it gets worse when it changes that pitch. It will go up probably 5, 6 again. And usually it's the right side here that's worse than the left. But both of them kind of have that low level, just ringing all the time. At that 3 level. So then the third symptom is anxiety. I feel tense and anxious all the time, which again makes it very difficult to concentrate and to do anything and everything that I'm trying to do throughout my day. It makes it difficult to focus on things. So I'd say that one's probably a 4, just kind of ongoing. And obviously that kind of changes with the amount of stress that I have on me. So trying to do schoolwork as finals and things happen, it gets really difficult to focus on that, and everything just kind of becomes overwhelming, is kind of what it feels like all the time. And yeah, it makes it difficult to do school. Basically just trying to manage that and focus on my classes and my homework, especially with things being online. It is insanely difficult to sit down and kind of do that without having some of the management techniques, like forcing myself to basically go to a location was one of the ways that I'd kind of helped manage that anxiety. So like go to the library to study, but when all the libraries were closed because of the COVID pandemic, that became increasingly difficult to do, things like that. Other things I do to manage it are running. I run, and that kind of like tends to help relieve some of the anxiety, at least in the short term, and help me focus. Going for drives, things like that, just anything that kind of helps me practice a little mindfulness helps, but again, those all help momentarily. That tension, that feeling of kind of unease and overwhelm always comes back. Yeah, so I would say worst I ever got was a 10. I ended up in the ER at KU Med for what I believe was partially a panic attack, but I basically woke up in the middle of the night due to the heat coming on in my room, and then I passed out. When I moved my neck, and I passed out because of a vasovagal syncope, but I was kind of like panicked about that situation, and I felt like I was going to die, so I drove myself to the emergency room. Yeah, so that's definitely a 10, I think. And then the fourth symptom is the neck pain and shoulder pain. So basically just like all down through my neck, all down through into my shoulders, especially like this muscle here on the back and the one kind of here on the front side. They just feel tense all the time, and they hurt. It makes it difficult to sit and stare at a computer screen, work on my phone, sit with a book reading, because it's using kind of those muscles. It makes it painful to just kind of do that all the time. Just anything like that, it makes it difficult to go about my daily life. So that one I've definitely had for at least 6 months as well, probably longer, probably more like a year on that one. I would say probably again 2 to 3 range for just kind of the ongoing pain. But obviously if I'm reading a lot or on the computer a lot, one day it will go up and it will be worse. Or if I'm climbing, I'll spend a lot of time looking straight up, and that will make it a lot worse as well. And I'd say it probably gets up into the 5-6 range again, pretty regularly, just kind of as I go about doing the normal things. But yeah, so 3 ongoing, and then 5 or 6. Again, just over-the-counter painkillers if it gets really bad. But for the most part, I just kind of live with it. I spend a lot of time kind of like rolling my shoulders back and trying to stretch my neck, pop my neck, things like that. Just hot packs again to try and relax the muscles a little bit. But yeah, really, that one I think I just kind of suffer through for the most part. I would say I'm doing pretty well. I feel a lot better since we started. I would say I feel 100% better back to kind of how I was, I remember being years ago. They've, basically all gone away as far as the day-to-day always feeling like I have a constant headache. That is all gone. So yeah, 100% improved there. Ringing in the ears and ear pain. I don't have any ear pain anymore. The ringing in my ears is definitely better. I think that's the one symptom that's just lingering a little bit, so maybe 80% improved there. Ear pain is gone, don't really have any ear pain anymore, so yeah, that is definitely a lot better. Yeah, ear pain's 100% better, ringing in ears 80% maybe. Anxiety, I would say yeah, maybe 100%, 90%. I definitely feel a lot less anxious and a lot more able to manage it, since I don't feel like I just have that constant tension in my body that I'm holding on to. So getting rid of that has helped me manage my anxiety overall. Yeah, neck pain down through like my neck and my shoulders. I would say that is also probably 100% improved. I definitely feel stiff if I've been climbing or if I've been lifting things, anything like that. But it doesn't feel unmanageable. It used to be that I would look up and it would feel like a pain pinch in my neck, and that is entirely gone since we started the treatment. I would say probably once the first phase had kind of had enough time to like work its magic on my body, and my body was able to kind of correct itself. But I would say a lot of the phase 2 so far, what it kind of feels like to me anyway, is it's cementing those changes to make them permanent, as opposed to continuing to improve per se. It's like I feel better each day, but that's just because my body continues to get better each day. That was probably the biggest difference. I do remember that, now that you say that, from when we first started the braces. I could tell my tongue had way more space and I stopped biting the sides of it, and I haven't really had that problem nearly as much as I used to, because I used to bite my tongue all the time. And same thing, just like sleeping at night, I had more space for it. So I think I'm excited to get space on the bottom too. I think everything has kind of matched my expectations as far as, the goal. I guess my goal was kind of look for the root cause and kind of address it, and it feels like that's exactly what we're doing, kind of as we go along. So in that way, I would say they've kind of it's matched my expectations and even maybe exceeded. 'Cause it shouldn't hurt to smile when your bite is aligned. You're feeling fine.